The time is just gone 9:37 a.m. and it's a weekly edition of Crime Talk this morning with eThekwini Secure. This morning we're talking about a will, about the importance of leaving a will. We join on the line chairperson of eThekwini Secure, Imtiaz Syed. Imtiaz, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh and welcome.
Assalamu wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yes, Imtiaz, obviously a different topic this morning compared to, some of the issues that we have been talking over a period of time. But definitely a necessary topic because a will is paramount. A will is absolutely critical.
Yeah. As we see ourselves, we've been coming through the COVID and as we have peaked and we're now coming off it, what we see coming to our tables more and more often and actually almost every day is we're getting calls to say, my dad didn't have a will or my mom didn't have a will. How do we move forward? And that becomes a bit challenging in terms of, firstly, we're living in a country where there is law and law prevails ultimately. But also as Muslims, we have our own way of doing things in terms of Sharia. So how do they two tie in, especially when there's no will in place, if you know what I mean? So what we're saying is that everyone, we don't know when mort or death can come to us. And we're saying that everyone should have a will. I think the important things to be cognizant of is that if you're having a will drawn up and it's a Sharia will, you need to approach your local ulama council or body and have them assist you with how and what should be done in terms of your heirs and all of those things. And I don't want to go too much into those details, but I think a very important point is listing out quite clearly who is your executor, understanding what's the meaning of wasiya and what you can give away to people outside of your immediate heirs, those kinds of things. So understanding all of those things from the Sharia perspective. And then obviously understanding in terms of the law what is required in terms of someone to be an executor and all of those things. Because what we've seen is quite a few people have done their wills through, financial institutions and I wouldn't mention their names, but when you do a will through a financial institution, it's sort of an automated document which states that that financial institution would now act as the executor at a certain percentage of the estate. And when it goes into that scenario, you might have done that will 20 years ago at a financial institution that existed then, and now to go back and rechange that and do all of those things is becoming quite tedious and becoming a process. So even if you do have a will in place and if it's aged, we're saying that you should update your will. You should get it up to date, like as of now, as of current. If it's less than a year old, update it. And the one that you make now says this one precedes any other that came before it and those kinds of things. So these are things we're facing at the moment. So therefore I'm saying, at eThekwini Secure, we're evolving into different types of things, but obviously we're here to deal with community issues and community problems. And these are the problems our communities are facing. So we just wanted to put out a message to say that every single one of you, no matter how healthy you are, no matter what your age is, go out, go firstly to your Islamic body that you prescribe to, and seek advice firstly from a Sharia perspective, what should your will be? Because you put executors also in a very tight situation. If you make your will and it is un-Islamic, and they're sitting in a position where they have to disperse and dispose of your belongings against the laws of Sharia, and it becomes a bit of a problem in that way as well.
Yes, certainly, Imtiaz. And I think, when we talk about many of these organizations and whether it's our Jamiats and other Islamic bodies, all these wills, in fact, are freely available. In fact, people can go online, you can download them, you can print them out, you can complete them. And when one looks at the will, obviously drawn up in accordance with Sharia and the Sharia 100%. Rules of inheritance. So this is important. And I think you made a very, very good point, a telling point, particularly with regard to financial institutions, because people don't realize it, that, a fair amount of their money can go towards these executives, them acting as executives. And sometimes, even when we're talking about executives, it's about finding executives that you have confidence in within your family, within your family, your friend circles, people that are honest, people that are, that will obviously will make sure that whatever is in that will be discharged in accordance with Sharia and in accordance with the wishes of the person who has drawn out this will.
I think that the issue of the executor is something that's very, very, very important. I mean, you can't look at the issue of executor as something that is sentimental and from the heart. You got to look at it in terms of capacity of the person that you appoint as an executor. Do they have the capability? Are they able to do this? Are they coming from a background in order to facilitate a process by which everything that you have worked through your life is now distributed according to what you have now indicated, and obviously, on most instances, it's according to Sharia, right? So I think that is something that is very, very important. But the other concern is, people say, you know what, but my mom didn't have much or my dad didn't have much. A simple thing like getting 5,000 Rand out of any financial institution requires a letter of executorship.
Yes.
So it's a very important thing that we need to be aware of. I mean, if someone has a home in their name, how do you move forward without having an executor? How do you not have a will? So all of those things are very important. The executor, having your will in place, everyone understanding beforehand. We had a family discussion. This is what happens. And anyone that wishes to give things away in their lifetime, they're welcome to do so. They should actually do so. If they plan to give something to their daughter or their son or whatever it is, they should do it in their lifetime. So it makes everything so much simpler and easier when we reach these stages.
Yes, and I think this is the type of service that obviously community organizations like eThekwini can actually provide in terms of just pointing them to the right direction. What to do in the
Absolutely.
event of you have this unfortunate incident where somebody just passes away, just to make sure that people know where these things are kept. These are important documents, the will, the ID, whatever else is of importance, and those type of things. And this is also something that we need to be prepared for, because sometimes when a person passes away and the house is in state of confusion, nobody knows where what is and that type of thing. So this is also important that you make people aware. If anything happens to me, this is where you're going to find A, B, C, D.
Exactly. And then even with scenarios like some of us or some people in families, they sort of run the entire home, and they now pass on, and nobody knows where to pay the electricity bill, what is the account number, who pays the telephone account, who pays the cell phone account. So all of these things needs to be actually stipulated and tabled down on a piece of document, which we believe is always a working document. It should always be updated as things change. You cancel an account, you go take it out, you change it. It can just be a scribble in a scrapbook, if you know what I mean. But at least someone else in the family is aware of the inner workings of what is going on. But also in terms of your debt. So if you owe anyone any money, you need to start declaring that in your lifetime, to say, I owe certain person 5,000 Rand or 2,000 Rand or whatever it is. And it shouldn't be such that now we seem to be wanting, when we put in a situation of saying, we need to now start winding up an estate. And we're now looking for, first and foremost, who did you owe money? And then secondly, the people that owed you money, who are they? So all of these things we need to start sharing with our family members. Sometimes, we tend to be very personal about these things, but we need to start having some sort of documentation and some sort of way of saying, okay, in this particular book, you're going to find all the information you might require if perhaps I do pass away,
Well, Imtiaz, I must say, useful discussion, useful information coming through this morning from you. And as always, we thank you. We say Jazakallah for your time with us this morning. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Did you know a sponsored water well and borehole allows children to go back to school, empowers communities, and is a means of sadaqah jariyah for you? There are many villages in Africa and Afghanistan that are in need of water wells and boreholes.
Africa.
Sponsor a water well in Africa for just 12,000 rands, or a borehole in Africa and Afghanistan for 49,500 rands. Call Africa Muslims Agency now on 011-834-8685 or donate online at africamuslimsagency.co.za. Africa Muslims Agency, inspiring the spirit of giving.
Enduran Boys College is an independent boarding and day school situated on the N1 highway in Polokwane. We encourage intellectual and emotional development through a holistic learning environment. We follow the NCS CAPS curriculum and house boys from grade 6 to 12. We have boarding facilities also available from grade 6 to 12. Enduran Colleges aspires towards being a premier institution of learning by offering quality and value-based education that aims to serve humanity. Enduran College is safe haven and a home away from home. It's registered with the Department of Education and Umalusi accredited. For more information, contact us on 078 452 6264 or follow us on Facebook or Instagram, or email us on polokwane@interimcolleges.co.za.
Shimmer, sparkle, captivate. Nothing less than a masterpiece. Droplets of gold inspires precious design. Platinum bursts with intricate freshness, and every pure diamond becomes more than just a girl's best friend. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, where timeless dreams become a reality. Come to us. We tailor-make designer gold, platinum, and diamond jewelry. Trade in or remodel your old gold. Clad yourself with classy name-branded watches. We offer insurance valuation and freezer card calculation. Visit us at 534 Ridge Road, Overport, or call 031 208 9142. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, manufacturers of fine gold and diamond jewelry.
Connect and stay ahead with Salam Media. This is Salam Media, coming to you live from South Africa.
The time is just gone 11 minutes to 10 a.m. as we head towards closure this morning. And the plight of young people, South African youth. And for far too long, we've heard about young people, about the future of young people. And we know President Cyril Ramaphosa, who will be addressing the nation tomorrow. And I'm sure he will be touching on the question of youth and looking at possibly some initiatives to make sure that, the future of the youth is secured. But has it been a build-up until now just empty rhetoric? Because there are thousands upon thousands of young people. We're talking about graduates. We're talking about people who have studied for 3, 4, 5 years at universities that have got a qualification, that have graduated out of university, and who are sitting in a situation where they are battling to find jobs in the country. And we join on the line this morning by Ayanda Innocent, who is the president of the Unemployed Graduates Association. Ayanda, good morning to you. Welcome to the show. Ayanda, can you hear me? Yes, Ayanda, I'm not too sure whether your mute button is on. If you could possibly unmute, because we can't hear you. We are battling to hear Ayanda. Ayanda, good morning. Yes, we are battling. We're going to try and see if we can't get hold of him. In fact, I know Ziad is working very, very hard behind the controls to make sure that Ayanda hears us. And I think this is a problem that many of us are faced with. Many of us who have children who have just graduated, who have been basically battling because is it the state of the economy? Is it because of lack of experience? Is it because they're entering brand new into a job market? Because many of us who put our children through university, who give them this education, and when they go out in the wide open world, they find that this it doesn't work out for them. And we've also heard about graduates not only doing menial jobs. We've heard about graduates that are doing jobs as cashiers. We've heard about graduates that are doing jobs that they have not basically studied for or qualified to do at this point in time. But at the end of the day, it puts a damper. It puts a damper on a young person and their future, because this is what their future is all about. Ayanda, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Wari. How are you?
Yes, very well, thanks. And I can hear you loud and clear now. Ayanda, I know you're the president of the Unemployed Graduates Association. Are you employed at this point in time?
Thank you very much, Mr. Wadi, for an opportunity, and greetings to all the listeners and the viewers. Well, Ayanda Innocent Kumalo is still an unemployed graduate as well. As much as we are representing the unemployed graduate part, I myself still am not employed.
And what did you study for?
I did community development and leadership as my undergrad, and then I did politics and international relations as my honors.
Right. Now, obviously, this is a big problem at this point in time, because there are thousands upon thousands of people like yourself, Ayanda, at this point in time, battling. And, when you get into university, you raise hopes, that your future obviously relies on the time that you're going to be spending at university until the point when you're going to graduate. And I'm sure it's a huge disappointment for you and thousands of others at this point in time in this country.
Well, as the Unemployed Graduates Association, currently we are having thousands and thousands of unemployed graduates on our database. So number one, what we can echo is that the unemployed graduates are currently discouraged. They are frustrated, they are depressed, they are broke, they are badly indebted. And what is the most viable factor that causes this whole frustration? It's the persistent failure of our government in creating job opportunities.
Yes.
And I think with the vision 2030, we won't be able